Beats by Low. Interracial.
Well, guys, welcome back. We are back now with Here's the Thing. It's your boy Rome. That's my girl Nat. And that's my homie Nick. We are back. We had a fantastic last show, and we are looking to build upon that. So thanks again for your feedback, and we're gonna move. Let's do it. So today's topic is one that is, I think we're gonna really touch some nerves here, but that's the point. Talk from our perspective, right? So our show today is going to be on interracial marriages, relationships, all that good stuff, right? So I got a couple quick facts for you from a black perspective, of course. So since 1967, the two-person male-female black household has reduced by 50%. 1967, 1950, it was at 78%, and now 2019, we are at 36%. So almost 50% of black households, black structured families have decreased. So we're going to touch on that a little bit and see what you guys think about that.
We're talking about male-female.
We're talking about male-female in the home, black structural families. So Dr. Umar had made a point that I want to ask you guys about. This is kind of where my question is going. So let me ask you guys. So it says, black men marry white women because internally they wish that they were white, and having a white woman is creating a psychological disposition that he himself is equal to the white man. So what do you guys think about that?
I think that might have been the case, especially right after 67, because, that's when the Loving versus Virginia verdict came down all the way from the Supreme Court. And right after that, what was it called? The racial integrity law was repealed. So now white people were no longer imprisoned for going outside their race and dating another race of people. So right after that, of course, people started dating other people. Maybe some of those black men that was not able to get a white woman in 65 and 64 and 63 felt like I might have all want to get me one in 68 and 69 and 70. In 2019, I don't know if that's necessarily true for every interracial relationship involving a black man and another race, whether the motive is, in fact, I want to feel equal to a white man. I think that where I'm coming from really is that your grandmother, your grandfather, they may have been the ones that still may feel that sentiment to this day. Like, don't you bring home nothing but black. Keep it black.
Right.
Your mom may be feeling like, listen, to each his own. And we may feel like, I'm going to date who makes me happy. I'm going to go after love. And I feel like it's kind of, not saying it's becoming obsolete, but it's certainly, I feel like the generations of people that are coming behind us are starting to be more open and inclusive to dating outside their race.
Okay. Natalie?
Okay, so I think that black men, when they get to a certain stature, like, date white women because it looks like a trophy piece to them. So, it can be like, look, I'm equal to you, because I feel like we have, like, a natural need to want to be like master. Like, I live where master live. I got the same woman as master. Like, having a white woman is like, I gotta, like, I'm here now. So I kind of do think that black men, not all black men, but like a lot of black men are well off. Most of them, a good percentage of them, are dating outside their race. Like, a lot of them don't date black women or marry black women. They don't marry mixed women for the most part. So I can see some truth to that, like, being the case.
Yeah, for me, I think that it can also come from the systematic breakdown of the black family. Because we know that it can go all the way back to Jim Crow. It can go back to COINTELPRO. It can go back against the war on the crack epidemic. Even now, up to this day, the justice reform, or the lack of justice reform, putting black men in jail for absorbent amount of times. We touched on that a little bit on the last show. So it could be, and then I was speaking to our executive producer. He said that it created a PTSD for black women. Because black women were forced to be out here doing for themselves, because a lot of the target was black men, putting black men in jail. So you take away the black man, you destroy the black family. Absolutely. So, how do you feel now that you being a black woman? Is that PTSD, is that a real thing? Do you think that it really affects the black woman?
I think it does. I think that the black man being absent from the home does change the dynamic of the home, and it changes how black men are, because we're left out here to do so much by ourselves that we naturally become like these strong women. Right. And we have to kind of put everything together on our own. So then when we date men, black men, sometimes they can't handle our strength, but we're kind of forced to have that strength where we don't really have a choice but to have that strength. So sometimes we just can't handle it, and they can't handle it, I'm sorry. And they go to other races because they're more, they say, I guess, submissive. More submissive than the black woman. But I mean, they put too much on us. I mean, it'll go into my question too, but yeah. I agree. You don't agree.
No. I don't agree. I feel like there's such a double standard. Because we keep saying like black men get to a certain status and they want to go and they want to do this. And it's like, what about black women who, Tamara Hall just, got married to a white man? She did not expect that to be the person that she chose to be in love with for the rest of her life and have a baby. But it just happened to happen like that. And for some people, I feel like it absolutely just happens. For some people, yes, they may feel like this is a trophy piece, this is a status symbol, this is a declaration to the world that I have made it. Right. For some people, I feel like they just love.
No, I agree. I'm not saying every black man is with a mixed woman is because of that, but I think a majority, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, this is my opinion. I just think I see more than less. Right. And again, like I've read that a lot of black women date outside their race because black men can't deal with successful black women. Like they want a boss chick, then they get a boss chick, and they get insecure. It's too much for them. So women normally date outside their race because normally men outside the race can deal with it.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with the black woman too. So I mean, I can't speak from experience, but one thing that I think we talked about before was that a lot of times black women, they will date outside their race because they're looking for that nurturing, that comfort, right? And they can get that from other races, or at least from other races, let's just say. They can get that from other races because black men have that, what's that we were talking about, that, what's the word I'm looking for? They were taken for granted. They're taken for granted. So
they think we can do everything. Like, be stressed out and get over it. Like, everything has to just be strong. Like, I can cheat on you, you'll be all like, everything just has to be like, you can just deal with it. They make us deal with a lot.
But if what we're saying about the black man being taken out of the home, now you have all these black children, black young men like myself, being raised without necessarily having the father in the home. And looking at my mom as like the strongest beacon of light in my life growing up. My grandmother, super, super strong, no real male figures to their equal in my family. So of course I'm going to, I just happen to not want to date women at all. But if I was to date a woman, I would assume, yes, she's strong. Because I grew up with these strong, maternal figures in my life. So I guess it's all connected, but I don't feel like it's the rule. I feel like there are some that do, but I don't feel like it's right or fair to just have a hard rule like this is why they do this.
No, I don't think that's what anybody's saying. I definitely don't think that there's a rule, but I do think that there's a pattern. I do think that some of this is systematic. I do think that a lot of it comes from the breakdown of the black family, the systematic breakdown of the black family. A lot of that stuff was on purpose. A lot of that stuff was on purpose, and I think that coming up, like you mentioned, not having a black father in the home, that's generational, right? And so, I mean, I just, from a black man, I had a black father in the home, thank God. But I think that for the black woman, I can see why they would go elsewhere. I can see, but for black men, I see it, but I see it from a structural position, if that makes sense. I think with women, it's more of an emotional thing, but I think with men, to me, it's structural. To me, it's like, I want this white woman because I want to show that I can be on that capacity with this white man. That's how I see it. And I don't think, of course, it's not the rule, right? But to me, when I look at those things, I can see that pattern. For sure.
I mean, even with light-skinned girls, like that's the closest thing they have in like mixed race or white-looking women. So like light-skinned girls are more like, I got this bad light-skinned girl, but you don't give it the same commodity for the brown skin or the darker women. Like we're just becoming more like, okay, because all that melanin and all that stuff is going on, everybody's so excited about. But before, like brown skin and dark skin was like,
I'm not gonna say colorism is not real. We will certainly get into that topic later on. That is going to have its own topic. Definitely. But colorism is definitely a real thing.
So my question kind of like went into yours. My whole thing was a double standard. How come when black men date white women, it's a trophy piece, but when black women date out their race, it's like we're being gold diggers, or oh, she's only with him because of like financial gain. Like, how come we don't get that same like high five? Like, okay, girl, you made it. Like, why I gotta be about some money?
That is the stigma. But again, I don't personally see that. Again, I think it's more an emotional thing for black women. But I can see how the outside world would look like that. Because again, and I made a note of that sometimes us as a people, we think that the standard of excellence is outside of our race. You see what I'm saying? So for us, so it could mean money, it could mean stature, it could mean a lot of things because we don't necessarily have value in our own culture as a whole.
That's like the key word. Repeat that again.
We don't have value in our own culture as a whole.
Right.
So when you see a black woman with a white man, like, yeah, she just with him because she got money. Because we don't see that we got some black men who got money.
But this is where I have to play devil's advocate because to your point, why isn't it not the same or looked at the same way? Right. If you're saying that the black man is the one who gets the money and then chooses to get a white woman once he has the money, then the equivalent of that would be a black woman gets the money and then she chooses to get a white man once she gets the bag. That's not what
But sometimes she don't always have the bag. Like sometimes he might even be just a regular old white man, mixed man, whatever he is.
Right.
And she still looked at like, oh, he probably got some money. Like that's normally the whole thing, or that's her sugar daddy, or that gotta be. It's never just like. It can never be for love. Right, it can just be for love. Like maybe she likes that man.
Listen, I'm all for love. You know me. That part, I'm all for the love, honey. I have a whole husband, and far be it from me to point at someone else and say, why are you with that person, or make judgment or pass judgment. So I'm very of the thought that, child, let live and let live.
Right, but to your point, Natalie, I can't say that there have been women, and even now to this day that have married for money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, it
I'm
could
not saying
go.
Don't. I'm just saying why we always got to,
Right.
I mean, hey.
And could you blame them? I mean, sometimes if you out there, some white men. I mean, I can't speak from experience, but some white men look at black women as a trophy piece as well. Mm-hmm. Like, they love the curves, they love the attitude, the sass, they love the strength. White men value black women in ways that black men should value black women, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, it could be for love, it could be for money, but I mean, at the end of the day, to your point, as long as you're happy.
As long as you're happy. That's at the end of the day, as long as you're happy. I actually was interested in looking at a lot of research of why white men might ought to want to date outside their race. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that came up is this white guy had this video. He said, white women are such victims. Oh. because the black women, they've been through so much. They went through, like you spoke about, all the things, Jim Crow, all the way up to the, crack cocaine, all that. Mm-hmm. And they still had to be strong, right? So they've raised strong children, especially strong younger women. I can handle it. I don't need no man. You hear that a lot. Mm-hmm. And so this one particular white man was like, that's what I love about black women. They're not victims. They can get up and go out. They don't let anything knock them down. And all they want is a partner. That's all they want, is somebody who respects and values them. And then they could be that power couple, getting it together, So...
Right. I mean, black women know how to elevate some shit.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you that. I mean, I don't... Yeah, black women know how to elevate. I mean, I personally don't necessarily go that way, but I had a lot of strong black women friends. And I do that on purpose. I have a lot of strong black women friends because black women can elevate. Even, I'll give you a little example, even for this show. Natalie came and elevated this show to an extent. Yes. Oh my God. This is a little shameless plug to my girl Nat, but you elevated us. So, so I mean, I just think anything that black women put their hand in, they elevate. And so that means, I can see why white men will want that too. As, like you said, a partner.
So I have like a little spin to this question too. Please. So when a black woman is successful, she dates a black man, sometimes he has a problem with her success. Mm-hmm. But when he dated like a woman of another color or another race of success, they kind of be okay with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is that though? I don't understand. Like they'll be like whole defiant to us, cheat on us because they probably cheat on them too, but still, like this whole thing with us though. Yeah, it's universal. But it'll be like this whole thing with us, but they'll get another race with money, and they'll be like submissive, it seems like to her, and like like it's just like different.
Be like a stay at home.
Again,
type.
to me, it's that standard of excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like they expect that white woman or that other race to do those sorts of things. So they're like, okay, it's good. But black women is kind of like, we missed that partnership, I guess, with black women and black men. Like I don't know if it coming from, I don't know, the 50s, 60s, that black women have always been that ground force in the home, in the family. So and we talked about this too, when the black women get into that workforce and they start to really work and grind and get that money, black men are like, why you ain't home cooking? Why my kids at the daycare? We start getting that mold because that's our perception of the black woman. That's what it needs to be. So, I mean, you don't agree.
It's definitely changed.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that's horrible. Like, we shouldn't expect, girl, let her go out there and start a hair care line and all kinds of things and lashes and clothing. And
right.
do it.
I mean, keep in mind, I have no issues with interracial marriages at all. I'm just looking for it from a black perspective, right? So let me ask you guys this question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My fault. I thought we was just going. Go ahead.
All right. So my question is, we say a lot, black, white. What happens when you get someone who's black, who's white, they are now having children, and those children consider themselves biracial or of mixed race? Now,
Great question.
should they have to choose a side? Is it still interracial if they get involved with someone else? Does it have to be another person who's of the same mixture of races? Like, this is why I'm hoping that this whole topic becomes obsolete. Like, because everybody is going to end up at some point being a little mixed of something. I have people in my family right now, Cambodian, Mexican, Portuguese, like in my family right now, that second generation below us are all mixed up. Like, well, that ain't come out right. But they're mixed up. Girl, they got it together, no shade. But I'm just saying, like, is it a big deal, or how do they define am I in an interracial relationship? I'm already mixed, so do I have to pick a side, or?
So, let me answer this one first. Okay. So, being that I come from a mixed family, I originally used to have a really big problem with embracing my other side. So, I was sometimes like everybody just thought like Nelly just was 100% black. That's it. She's black. As time progressed, I embraced the fact that I have a Caucasian grandmother. I have a mother that is Caucasian and black and probably looks more Caucasian than anything else. And my whole grandmother's side is like, they're white people. So I didn't think I had to pick a side, but I kind of did pick my black side because I look black and I talk black and I do black stuff. But as I got older, I embraced that side. So I feel like I don't want to pick a side. I just like to be the Oreo cookie. Like, I'm just myself. Right. So growing up with like having that whole thing, I don't think you have to pick a side. I think at the end of the day, we all come from Africa, so we all are mixed because we all come from that first. So everybody is already mixed to begin with. Right. So I don't think you have to pick a side. Just be uniquely who you. I'm a unicorn, so I'm black, I'm white, Europe, France, whatever, just be yourself. I don't think picking a side is really important. It's not important.
Okay. How you feel, Ron?
I can't. I agree with you from your perspective, but from my perspective, when it comes down to children, I think that children are forced to pick a side, right? So, for instance, when my in-laws I have a white mother-in-law, I have a black father-in-law. They have mixed kids. My husband is mixed race. And I think when you're coming up, when you're younger, you eventually have to pick a side, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Mixed-ish, but if you're not, you should check it out.
I am. Well, I watched Blackish. I even watched the spinoff Mixed-ish.
Mixed-ish is good.
Yeah.
But, it talks about the kids who are coming up and they go to a new environment and then the kids are like, well, what are you? Are you going to come sit with us or are you going to go sit with them? And you end up having to pick a side. Also, I wonder what you guys' perspective is on other races raising black children. I'm not talking about adoption. I'm talking about when it comes down to a white mother teaching a black man how to be a black man.
Well, I don't think a white mother can teach a black man how to be a man. I don't think a woman can teach a man how to be a man. I think that this is why you need other people. It takes a village. It takes a community to raise a child. So me and my husband plan on having children, right? We're going to need lots of women around us. That part, thanks, sis. Lots of women around us to help us raise my daughter. I've already picked out her name and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a daughter. We're definitely gonna have a son, but we're gonna need all the help we can get to give them examples of what it is to be a proud, because she will be of color, no shade, a proud young woman of color.
Okay, but going back to the cultural thing, right? So my perspective, because just like there are black women who are single mothers, there are white women who are single mothers of black children.
Right.
How do you think that? How do you perceive that, and how do you think that they can get them? Other than, I know you're going to get a village, but just culturally, how do you think that affects the children?
See, I'm not sure, because my grandmother, who was white, you know, at some point she helped raise my brother, who was black, and she did good with him. Right. I mean, she made it clear, like, you know, we're different as far as like what I can do. If you do it, it'll be taken differently. Like, and she always told us that, like, we come from different worlds. Like, I'm your grandma, I love you, but understand that my color gives me a different privilege than what you can do. So what you see people of my color do, that doesn't mean you can go and just because you got a white grandma, it doesn't matter. Exactly. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, you're still to them black, and they will still treat you like you're black. So what I do, you don't do. So it depends on what kind of Caucasian or mixed person you have. Like, my grandma was white, but she was really black at heart. She was pro-black. Like, didn't even like white people. Right. So it all kind of depends on the white, well, not the white person.
I was watching a YouTube video. That's where That's where the question came from. I watched a YouTube video of a young biracial young man, and he said his mother did not have the tools. So when he got out in the world, there was a lot of problems from him. When he was coming from adolescence, he didn't know how to deal with certain things. He was raised in a predominantly African American area, school district, all that. He wasn't prepared for the I guess we'll say shade, right? The shade he was getting from the blacks, and the non-acceptance he was getting from the whites, right? And then as he got older, he fell into things like drugs. He fell into things like, you know, things that landed him in jail. And then he was in jail, he wasn't prepared. So he felt that because he did not have a father or any black people in his family, because his father had left early on, he didn't have any that blackness instilled in him. He was really not well off, and he had a hard time dealing with his own growing up and becoming a man himself.
Well, I would say to that point, there is a certain responsibility. If I and my husband decide to adopt a baby of Japanese descent, we have a responsibility to educate that child on. I can't just raise my child like they're black, because they are of Japanese descent. So same thing. I think I was watching The View, or I don't know what I was watching, but they said something about Sandra Bullock and her adopted black son. And now he's getting into the age where he has questions about race and why am I treated different? And why is this person treated different? And she made an effort to educate him and let him know there are some people who are good in the world, white people, black people, you know, some people treat you different because of color of skin. But that conversation absolutely needs to happen. You can't just ignore it and then let that child grow up and go out into the world and then don't know how to handle.
Right.
So
you have to use your resources, essentially. If you're raising black children, you need to find some black people to help you.
With that hair especially, girl.
With that
Come
hair.
on.
Right.
Well, you might get blessed with some, you know, tomorrow stuff.
That's that white me, girl.
Come on,
No, you might. I mean, when I was a kid, we grew up Abbotsford Project before I got to West Philly. Right. And I got called Orphan Annie because I'm in the projects with a whole white woman. You know, they like, what in the, are you adopted? No, that's my grandma. They really didn't believe me. Like, I used to fight and all that stuff. So I've been through the whole B&Ts and everything like that.
Yeah.
So do you guys think there's a way we can come back from, because one thing that keeps sticking in my mind is knowing our self-worth and raising our standard of excellence. Is there a way that we as a community can come back from that? What are some ideas about that?
I think setting up a community, number one. I think about in every major city there being a Chinatown or a Little Italy, and there is no area in every major city where you know I'm gonna go get the black food. This is gonna be black businesses. This is gonna be, you know, for us, a sense of community. I feel like that's like the number one thing that needs to start to happen. We need to galvanize and not just be worried about what's going on in our own four walls. Right. Because I think that's what's going on right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more.
I think in order for us to have self-worth, we know where we come from. Like, we don't know our actual history, the fact that we were kings and queens. So I think once we know who we really are and where we really come from, the self-worth will just like automatically just come in. And like, we don't know who we are. All we know is we were slaves, and that's where it started from there. We don't even know anything prior to being a slave or none of our actual real origins. So it starts with Black history and knowledge of your true Black history.
Absolutely. And I come from a different perspective. I agree with both of what you guys are saying. But I think another way for us to build our excellence, to build our self-worth, is to work together. Because like you were mentioning, Chinatown, Chinese people employ Chinese people. So, you know, we need to start working together to build our community, then learn where we come from. Because if we learn where we come from, I think that will also kind of get us to that point we're building, right? Because the ancestors did it. Our history did not start with slave boats.
Sure did not.
You know what I mean? But that's what they want to teach us. That's what the books say. You know.
Well, now we were like, what, servants or something to say in the new history books? We weren't even slaves. We were like,
oh yeah,
forgot what it says now. We were like some type of like,
they're whitewashing it, right?
Yeah, they're definitely whitewashing.
Girl, and we were slaves because we wanted to be a
We'll probably end up talking about that at some point. We got colorism coming up. We got all the things, but yeah, I mean, I think if we work together and we really start to support Black businesses, employ Black people, do stuff like we're doing, talking about it. You know what I mean, and getting that word, starting the conversation, because you know the longest journey starts with the first step. So I think little things like we're doing is kind of helping that come.
It's like a whole show too about supporting each other, because we got to get out that whole mindset of crabs in a barrel. No, you can't go. I got to go first. So once we get past that mindset of crab in the barrel, we can work together. But until we change the mindset, kind of hard to work with people who everybody want to like, no, not you first, me first, me first, me first, me first. So it's going to be like a problem. Like, can we all just climb the top together? Or if you go, just like pull me up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and then maybe we'll, you know, I don't know. I'm not looking to decrease the biracial thing or the interracial marriages and anything like that. I'm not looking to decrease it, but I would like to see more Black men value more Black women and more and vice versa. I would like to see it happen more, you know, and I would like to break some of these systemic generational curses that kind of forced us to, or kind of encouraged us not to value our own families. So I don't know, guys. Let us know. I mean, what else? You guys got anything else on this topic? I think we covered a lot.
A
You know, all the things, and here's the thing, right?
Right.
So please let us know what you guys think about this topic. This is not, I wouldn't call it a problem, but this is something that affects the Black community, and that's what we're here to do, is bring awareness and talk to you guys about these sorts of things. Absolutely. But you know, like I always say, we like to talk with you, not to you. So please come comment. Like,
please comment. Don't be scared. We are not gonna bite your head
If
off.
you don't agree, it's really okay not to agree.
We like that.
We actually like that. Like, say no, you're wrong. A little bit, you know, back and forth. We don't mind.
So yeah, let us know what you think. Just another topic that we're going to be discussing. In Here's the Thing. So.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So, in other news.
Oh, girl.
Thank you guys for that. We are now moving on. Nick has some in other news, so we just been kikiing about this.
Hot tea, girl. Okay, don't burn your lips, child. Let me tell you something. There is no way you can avoid any memes, any articles. It's everywhere. It's going viral. This pastor, David E. Wilson, from Texarkana, Texas, honey. Where is that? Texarkana, girl. Anyway, it's in Texas.
It's in Texas.
Stuff in Texas.
Yeah, he's the senior pastor of Bible Way Ministries, leader of the Black Chamber of Commerce down there, World Outreach Incorporated, been pastoring for about 40 years, honey.
Big deal.
Child, he was videotaped going downtown. That's the way to... Okay, he was going downtown on somebody that was not his wife. Okay?
Yes, he was.
And I haven't seen the video. I have not seen the video. I've read all the articles about the video. Oh, girl, y'all been watching the video?
I watched it. I sent in the group text, and it was like, look at this, y'all. So when I looked, it was like,
oh, no.
I ain't gonna lie, I watched all 27 seconds of it.
I could not look. It was like, what in the
No,
whose grandfather?
ma'am.
What is that?
Okay, so the woman allegedly in the video is his wife's best friend's daughter. Now, let's be clear, this woman is of age because this pastor is well into his, 50s or something.
70s.
Girl, he's old, okay? So this is a grown woman choosing to have a relationship with the pastor. Allegedly, the pastor was on a hiatus from his marriage or a break or of some sort. That's being alleged. Oh, yeah. But after this went viral, you know, people started posting things in the church's Facebook page and talk about the pastor was speaking in tongues and stuff, girl, etc. Okay. So, what do you guys think about this? But also, more specifically, should he step down? You know, is he just being a human being? Should there even be like this whole stigma about pastors being chaste and girl, you know, just not being human? Because if he were a lawyer or a doctor, it wouldn't even be news. So, how y'all feeling about it?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if he should step down because it's always been a double standard with the church anyway. So he's not the only pastor who's doing this. He's just the only pastor who had it videotaped, right?
Not the only pastor in Texas this year.
That part. So, I mean, should he step down? I mean, that's going to be up to his constituents. That's going to be up to his congregation. I mean, do they want to follow a hypocritical pastor? I think that it's not. I mean, he's human, but there's still when you're leading a flock, you know, you're teaching from a book.
Gotcha. That was the shade of that part.
And in that book,
and
in that book, it teaches you about the things that you should and shouldn't do. And then if you are in direct contrast to that book, then you might not want to step down. They might not put you up. You should just go on. I mean, you've been doing it 40 years now. Go on. Go sit down because your marriage is destroyed. Your congregation is destroyed because one thing that Nick didn't mention is that it was his wife's best friend's daughter, but who happens to also be a member of the church. So she's a member of the church. Now, it's something with her. I think we need to really address the underlying problem is the double standard that we have for these pastors. And I don't want to get too deep into it because we're going to have a whole series on religion.
Yes.
But so we'll use this as a little preview for the series. But I mean, black pastors, pastors in general, I can't even narrow that down to black pastors. I mean, we're talking about pastors and leaders in general when it comes to religion. That is one of those things. So stepping down, yeah, he might ought to want to do that. Yeah.
What you thinking, that girl?
So, I mean, it's a black man cheating right now, and his wife's daughter are probably doing the same thing. The big deal was because he was a pastor.
Right.
I think the problem with the church is that they forget that they're also human. Okay, and humans make mistakes. So, okay, he made a mistake. He did something. Now he can't be the pastor no more. Like, he's not God.
Right.
He's a man.
Right.
Men make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So, if it was another man that was on Instagram that was doing this, it would have been like, oh, look at it, and that would have been it.
Right.
The fact that he's a pastor or whatever he is, it makes it a big deal. But I don't, men is cheating right now. Fire him too. Should he lose his job and lose, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really, it was just funny to me. Like this old man with his tongue out doing all this little weird stuff. It was funny, but I don't really care if he's in the church, out the church, whatever you do. Life's between him, his wife, and the young girl.
I do feel like he should step down. I mean, I understand what you're saying. He's human, but I also see to the point where if you take a position on, you should be above reproach. And we dragged Judge Tammy last week. Dragged her for hugging that person and giving a Bible, and that was a mistake. But we also said that, I mean, if her judgeship gets taken away, rightly so. So I think it can't be a double standard. If you're making these kind of mistakes, you are obviously not in the position you should be in. Maybe he could be a consultant for the church. Maybe he could be.
I thought God forgives you.
God forgives you, but the church should not.
Oh, well, then how we being
Because this is still,
forgiven
but
or
this
not?
no, but this is
somebody
still a
got flies
business.
away.
But this is still
Oh,
a
it's
business.
or church.
Well, girls, both. And if you have leadership,
But the difference is when you talk about that position and those jobs, the position or the job of a pastor is a little bit more wide. It affects more people. You're not just leading a company, which you kind of are, but you're actually guiding lives. Like you're a moral compass. You're doing weddings. You're doing funerals. You're doing counseling. So you have to have a level of You know what I'm saying? When I look at a pastor, when I was in church, and we can get into that about my church, my pastor. But anyway, I looked at my pastor as the standard of who I should be at some point, or the moral compass, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but neither here nor there, it was funny as hell. And from what I could tell, he was doing a good job.
Oh, girl.
Wait. I still play devil's advocate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, okay, if you're a leader
Right.
and you're leading everybody with a moral compass, and you're a human and you make a mistake,
Right.
can't we all learn from this mistake though? As like a congregation,
should
like
learn.
there might be somebody in the congregation that's doing the same thing he's doing,
Right.
and might say like, oh my God, the pastor's, he made a mistake just like the devil
Right.
got him. Whatever is going on, so why is it to be like automatic? Like you have to go. Like why can't it be like
You can stay a member of the church, but you should lose your job.
leave.
If a police officer shoots somebody black in their house through a window, a Tatiana, he should lose his job. It's not like he made a mistake. You made a mistake that you shouldn't have made, and you cannot ever make again.
What about the preachers? What are they? The priests? At the Catholic church that molest the boys all day long, they still be in there.
Girl, that's between them and the archdiocese.
Most of the time, they still be in there, and they don't go. Nobody makes no real big fuss about it. I mean, I live in a black community where we had a lot of, it was like more Catholic churches than anything. A lot of, the altar boys and all that. They got, nobody ain't fired them.
The Catholic Church and the archdiocese and all of that, we're trying to pay people off and keep it silent.
It's the white
settle out
church
court.
versus, it's the white church looked at different, and the black church has like a different thing. Like the pastor is like, hang him, string him, the whatever, who is it? What is the white person called? The priest, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not that religion. He's just like, whatever. It's like a different standard. Like, I don't know. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he just made a mistake.
I'm not mad at him either because apparently it was healing tongues. But one thing we're not
So
going to say.
so is she leaving the church still? Or
She oughta.
Because if he gotta go, then she gotta go to like the girl, the lady who was taking the video with the legs open.
I think it was a setup too, but I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We're actually getting into those topics that we're gonna have a series
All right,
about.
I'm just saying though, if she's still there, she has to go too. Like he can't go, but she don't go. I'm sorry, like that.
It ain't developing. That story.
I don't know.
We ain't gonna keep talking about that man and his healing tongue.
Next week,
Yeah, it
You
is.
never know.
We might talk about it in our bonus show on Monday.
We might all of them.
So comment about that because we want to know how y'all feel about Pastor Wiggle Tongue, Pastor Greenleaf. What in the Greenleaf? What in the Greenleaf scandal?
The Greenleaf scandal. All right, but yeah, so I mean, that's we just want to make it lighthearted. I mean, it can lead into other issues, but it was funny. If you guys, I'm not going to encourage you to go see it, but if you see it,
Not watch that.
if you see it, tell us what you think of his skills. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so that's good, but thank you guys for entertaining us and for allowing us to entertain you with that topic. But now we got some stuff. Black light.
So this week we're doing Black Light on two amazing businesses. The first we have is Hijabified Clothing. It is a modest clothing line for women. It keeps sisters stylishly covered. I love it. She has some really great pieces. You have to follow her on Instagram at Hijabified Na. That is HIJABIFIED_Na. And she has a clothing line website as well. It's called www.hijabifiedclothing.com. And when you go on her Instagram, you'll find it all in the link and everything. I love her stuff. So if you are a Muslim and you cover, she's the person that you want to go to. So next, our Black Light.
The Black Light.
That part. So our next Black Light is on Top City Hair. It is a higher echelon of hair. They have natural wave, deep wave, what else? Body wave. They have straight. They have everything in the world. They got inches. They got frontals. They got everything that you want for your hair. I have it in my hair.
Yes.
Look how beautiful this hair is. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, so this is deep wave, 28 inches by the way. They have great hair. They actually have a sale going on right now, 50% off the whole website. So it's www.topcityhair.com and their Instagram is at topcityhair Instagram. So make sure you go check them out because I love both of them and I love my hair too.
Yes.
And those links will also be provided in the description, so you can go check out both of those amazing businesses that we just described in the Black Light. So also, if you know any black businesses in the area or outside the area that should be featured, please let us know. We would love to feature them. We'd love to talk to them. We'd love to get their product out there. Remember, black businesses, black people got to support black businesses.
We have to support one another.
We definitely
Absolutely.
support is very important.
Let us know what you think about this show. And if there's a topic that you want us to discuss moving forward, I mean, we have some feelers out there, but let us know what you think.
Absolutely.
Subscribe.
Until we meet again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Every Thursday at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Beats by Low.